Okay, so now we are ready for our final process of cleaning up this imported data, which is we want to replace this character string FIVE with the number 5 in the age column. And so we've run some previous code cells where we imported a CSV file into a data frame called students, and we've already done some cleaning up. And this is the very last thing we want to clean up. And in the previous video, we were introduced to the if-else function. So here's how I can apply the if-else function to help us with this last cleanup. So if I use if-else, student age is equal to the character string FIV, it's going to look at each of these values in the age column and say, are they equal to the character string FIV? And if the result of that test is true, then replace that with the character string 5. So it's going to replace it with a 5. And if that is not true, so for all of these other values, what this is saying is replace the value with itself, or at least it's saying give an output which is equal to its current value. So this is saying if age is equal to the character string FIVE, then give me an output of the number 5. If it's not equal to FIVE, then give me an output which is equal to the current age. So don't do anything is another way of saying that. So what I'm going to do down here is combine all of these different, well, let me run this code cell to make sure that it indeed works. So this creates an output, a vector of output, which is 4, 5, 7, missing value. Awesome. It replaced that 5, FIVE, with the number 5 and 6. Awesome. And what I want to do is actually store that vector back in student age. So let's run this code cell down here to run through this whole process of cleaning up this student's CSV file, all using tidyverse functions. So what I could do is take that file, import it using read CSV, and that's usually a good stage to handle your missing values at that point. So that's going to convert all of the missing values that were coded in weird ways properly into N8s. Then I can use this clean names function, which is in the janitors package. So if you run this code cell and you haven't loaded the janitor package, you're going to get an error. But we installed and loaded that janitor package in a previous code cell. So this is going to take the student's data frame that we constructed when we imported the CSV file. The column names were bad. So this is going to rename all of the column names into snake case names and store it into students. And then lastly, I want to do some mutating to the columns. So I'm going to change meal plan to a factor. I'm going to change student ID to an integer. And here it's important the order that I do these last two things. I'm going to run this if-else command to replace the character string 5 with the number 5 and not replace any of the other ages. And that's what I'm going to write. So that's going to, the result is going to be this vector. And that's what I write on top of the age column. So that's going to replace the age column. 5 is going to wind up over here. And then I want to convert that to an integer. And if I change the order of these last two commands, I'm going to get an error, because if I first convert this to an integer, when the 5 is here, remember, it's going to say 5 is not an integer, and it's going to replace it and treat it as a missing value. So if I run this code cell, this finished the process. It replaced that 5 character string with the number 5. And if I had replaced the order or switched the order that I ran these last two commands, I get an error here. Well, first of all, I need a comma over there. This will fix that error, but I'm getting a weird thing over here because it is having an issue with treating integers and comparing integers to character strings. So the order definitely makes a difference. And I just want to be sure that I first convert the character string 5 to a number 5, and then I convert that column from characters to integers. And now we've got a nice data frame that I don't think has any issues as far as not being tidy. We've transformed everything so that the NAs are treated correctly, missing values are treated correctly, data entry issues have been fixed, and all of our columns are named and stored in as the correct data type. Well done. We just imported our CSV file and cleaned it up all in this code cell right here. Okay, thanks everyone.